overwhelmed today? If you felt overwhelmed today, let me see some yellow and green hearts in the chat. Listen, the first line of healing is being honest with yourself. So let's be honest with ourselves. If you felt overwhelmed today, let's see some yellow and green hearts in the chat. Okay? If you went through an episode of anxiety today, let's see some yellow and green hearts in the chat. Okay? If you have been suffering from any depth of depression, let's see some yellow and green hearts in the chat. Okay? Wagwan Sherry. All right? If you have experienced a loss in your family, let's see some yellow and green hearts in the chat. If you have been recently diagnosed with high blood pressure, diabetes, or high cholesterol, let's see some yellow and green hearts in the chat. Okay? Adam, what's up, baby? And I'm saying all of this because it's all related. It's all connected. Your body is one. This right here controls it all. Your brain. We are going to get to know the brain today. We are going to get to know the brain tonight because getting to know your brain helps you to understand you. It gives you more control. Research shows, okay, that more understanding of who you are helps you through the times of anxiety, depression, okay, emotional disparity, being in toxic relationships, toxic environments. Let's go. That's what we're here to do. I'm here to educate you tonight. My name is Professor Trish. I've been teaching health science for 22 years. It's my passion, okay? Tap the screen, share it live, and follow me if you're not already following me. Follow me and turn on your notifications because that's the only way you know I am live. What I'm here to do tonight, the beginning of June, let June be your month. Let June be your month that you free yourself of guilt, shame, toxins, relationships, environments. Let June be it for you. Let June be it for you. Let tonight be the beginning of you understanding what's going on in your brain. Let tonight be the beginning of you stop blaming yourself, of you stop harboring shame and guilt. Let's take more accountability and let's get to know your brain. When I am done breaking it down to you and connecting it to the rest of the body and connecting it to the consequences, okay? When I am done, my hope is that you will now have a peripherum of information that you can utilize to make better decisions. Yes, because when you know better, go ahead and finish my sentence in the words of the Dr. Maya Angelou. When you know better, come on now. Come on, guys. Let's go. When you know better, put it in the chat, baby. Put it in the chat. When you know better. When you know better. In the words of the legendary, iconic Dr. Maya Angelou, when you know better, that's right. You do better. I'm here tonight. Professor Trish Miami Yachty T. I'm here to help you do better. That's it. I'm not here to tell you to leave your job. I'm not here to tell you to leave your man, your woman. I'm not here to tell you to leave that environment you're living in. I'm here to help you to understand why you made those decisions. Why did you choose that job? Why are you staying at that toxic job? Why did you choose him? Why did you choose her? Why are you still there? Why do you keep choosing people like him, people like her? Okay? I'm just here to help you understand the anatomy behind your decisions, your behavior, your judgment, okay? And the cycle, okay? Antidepressants, anti-anxiety medicine only helps temporary. It doesn't get to the core, okay? Only helps. And anybody on here that's been on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medicine and psychiatric medicine, I'm not telling you to stop taking your meds. I'm not telling you don't listen to your doctor. But what I want to do, I want to give you another perspective. I want to give you another perspective, okay? I want to give you another perspective on how to understand you. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. I want to give you another perspective on how to understand you. And I'm going to connect it for you. And I'm going to make it easy for you. Okay? If you stay here long enough, I'm going to make it easy for you. If you stay here long enough, tonight will change your life. Okay? Tap the screen, share the live, make sure you're following me, and turn your notifications to all. Let me just get on the screen really quickly so you guys know I'm a real person. You know, in today's society, they got a lot of AI. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? Are you kidding me? What the hell? What the hell is that? And how do I get rid of it? Are you kidding me? What the hell was that? What? I cannot with TikTok. I cannot. I cannot. I cannot. I cannot. I cannot. You know what? Let me show you how I got my limbic system in check. I mean, you're going to know what that is in a minute. The average person, that probably would have gave them a heart attack. That probably would have, my pulse should be up right now, but it's not. My heart should be beating right now because my body would have went into the sympathetic nervous system, right? My autonomic system would have went into fight or flight. Now you heard me say verbally, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? But I was still in control. So that's what I'm going to teach you tonight, because I didn't know what the hell was that. Really, TikTok? Really? 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 Okay? If you see me bigger than life, baby, it's all good. Was that it? You see me bigger than life? You see how I changed the narrative? You see how I changed the narrative? That's what I'm going to teach you how to do tonight. I'm going to teach you how to rewire your brain. Because you saw what happened? I got back on and TikTok had this thing like a damn whatever balloon, right? But I'm going to change the narrative, right? You see me bigger than life, don't you, TikTok? You see me bigger than life? It's all good, baby. All right, guys, we're going to get into it. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Your vibe is thank you so much. Listen, I'm here to teach you guys. I just want to give you another perspective. I'm here to help you understand. That's it. If you stay here long enough, I promise, I have asked God to use me so that your life is different in the morning. So when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, you're going to see something completely different because I'm going to teach you, okay? I'm going to teach you the aspects about your brain and why you make those decisions and why you have those emotions and why you keep making those decisions. I'm going to help you, okay? Because it's my passion. 22 years of teaching health science, and this is what I use it to do, to help people, okay? So that's what we're going to do. Remember what I said. If you stay here long enough, your life changes in the morning. That's all I have to say. If you stay here long enough, your life changes in the morning. That's it. That's it. And for those of you who look different when you look in the mirror in the morning, DM me. DM me and say, Trish, wow, I see what you're saying. Thank you so much for joining the team. Okay. But hear me. If you stay here long enough, your life changes, okay? Now, keep in mind, I'm a professor, so I'm going to break it down. We're going to go through the brain, the different functions. I'm going to make it applicable. This is not a rush through. This is not a YouTube. So if you're looking to trying to get the information quick, that's not what I do. I'm an educator. I'm going to teach you. So if you want something quick, you're going to have to go to the tube, baby, or you're going to have to go to Google because that's not what's going to happen tonight. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to teach you. That's what I do. Okay. Thank you for being here. Tap the screen, share the live. Okay. Follow me if you're not following me already. And if you can appreciate this content, you can contribute to the gold box, or you can go ahead and continue to tap the screen and share the live. Let's go. Okay. TikTok. It's okay. Whatever you do, baby, I'ma spin it. You think I'm bigger than life? It's all good. Try me again. All right.
Political belief of a single small group of people is not even
blueprint that's going to help you get back on track mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Okay, that will be completely free. I give one away every night. Why? Because I want to help somebody. I want to help somebody. Okay, that's right. Knowledge is key, but implementation is where it's at. Okay, so if you're interested in that free health and wellness consultation with me, you're going to definitely have to be here, because at the end, I'm going to be asking some questions, and the person that gets at least 3 correctly, the first person that get the 3 correctly, you're the one that's going to be the winner. Okay, let's go. All right, here we go. Guys, this is your brain. I'm going to break it down to you very easily. What's up, Melinda? How are you? Okay. Take a deep breath. This is not going to be anything too hard. I promise. I'm going to make it simple. Okay, we are here to understand our emotions, our trauma, our stressors, our anxiety, our depression, our decisions. I am just going to empower you with some more information. Okay, I'm going to empower you with some more information, okay, so that you can take control, okay? Now, this is what it is. This is the brain. I'm going to discuss not 4, but 6 of the lobes. Not 4, but 6 of the frontal lobes. We have the cerebrium, which takes up 80% of your brain, all right? We have the cerebrium that takes up 80% of your brain, okay? We have the cerebellum, which is also called the hindbrain and the mini brain. Okay. All right. The cerebrium is broken up into 4 sections, but I'm going to discuss 6. It's broken up into 4, but I'm going to discuss 6. Okay. All right. Now, what we also need to know quickly, just going over briefly, this is your brain stem. All right. Your brainstem connects your brain to your spinal cord. Okay, that's what it does. A part of your brainstem is your midbrain, your pons, and your medulla oblongata. All right. Okay. Now, because of the purposes of tonight's lecture is focused on stress and trauma, we're going to focus more on the prefrontal cortex and the frontal lobe, the parietal lobe. Okay, so I'm just going to mention the parts of the brainstem, but we're not going to go into it. Okay, I'm just going to mention it. All right, so again, we have our midbrain, our pons, and our medulla oblongata. Okay, and each one of these are actually a part of a different subdivision. Okay, the different subdivisions are called the myelencephalon, metencephalon, okay, and mesencephalon. Again, I'm not going to go deep into it. I'm just going to mention it because for the purposes of tonight's lecture, we are going to focus on the frontal lobe, the prefrontal cortex, and the parietal lobe. Okay, we're also going to focus on the limbic lobe, which is also known as the limbic system. Okay, all right, let's go. Now, the frontal lobe has 4 sections, but I'm going to include 2 more. Let's go. Tap the screen, Shed Alive. We are going to make better decisions in the morning. I promise you, if you stay here long enough, I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to help you to understand why you keep choosing the same people, why you keep making the same decisions. Okay, I'm going to help you. You're not alone. No, you're not alone. You're not crazy. You're not alone. You're not crazy. Okay, tap the screen, Shed Alive. Tap the screen, Shed Alive. Follow me and turn on your notifications to all. Let's go. The cerebrium has 4 sections, but I'm going to include 2 more to make 6. The first 4, okay, is the frontal lobe. Now, as I go over these, I want us to pay very close attention to the function. The function of each lobe is so important. Okay, the function of each lobe is so important because stressors inhibit, impair, cease the function and how that plays into your decision, your emotions, your behavior is major. Major. And I need you to know, oh, the Corpus Coliseum. Okay, well, the Corpus Coliseum, that basically attaches both hemispheres. We have two hemispheres, right and left, okay? And the Corpus Coliseum is right in between. Okay? It's right in between. All right? So, I'll brief it, but for tonight's lecture, we definitely want to focus on the prefrontal cortex, the frontal lobe, okay, the parietal lobe, and the limbic system. Okay? All right, guys. Now, what I want you guys to know is to pay close attention to the function. Okay? Here we go. Number 1. Your cerebrum is broken up into 4 sections. The frontal lobe, which is here, okay? The frontal lobe, which is here. The parietal lobe, which is here. The occipital lobe, which is here. The temporal lobe, which is here. Okay, which part of the brain does lies and manipulation affect? Oh, sweetheart, I'm about to get into it. Amanda, okay? And we have here our cerebellum, okay? Now, I'm going to work backwards. Your cerebellum has to do with your movement, motor skills, voluntary movement, okay? Posture, equilibrium, balance, okay? That is your cerebellum. Now, moving up, occipital. Occipital has to do with your sight, vision, shapes, and colors, which form on the retina and the rods and cones of your eye and travel all the way back to the posterior side of your brain. Okay, yes, so the furthest part of your brain literally controls your vision. So trust me, when you are able to look at something and make it out to be an image, when I tell you praise God, because your sight in itself and in its intricate cells and the electrical impulses that it communicates to the brain to form a picture is phenomenal. I'm telling you, it's the human body is incredible, but the brain itself is just, I don't even have words. Okay, so occipital is posterior. Okay, now again, I'm just doing an overview, not going too deep, just doing an overview. Here we go. Tap the screen, share the live. Now we come up to the parietal part. The parietal, okay, is extremely important. The parietal lobe is extremely important. Take note. Here we go. Take note. Let's go. The parietal is important for spatial awareness, interpretation of pain, perception of sensation. Okay? Let me tell you something. If you have ever been in a situation to where someone put their hands on you, okay? Thank you so much, sweetheart. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much. If you have ever been in a situation to where, whether you're a man or a woman, and someone put their hands on you, right? A person can literally, depending on your past traumas, just tap you on the shoulder. They just tap you on the shoulder. And when they tap you on the shoulder, you're startled, okay? And you perceive that tap as something to be extremely aggressive. I want you to hold on to that thought, okay? You perceive that, or you perceive that rub on the back, okay? Or you perceive when they kind of pick up your hand or pull your arm, you perceive that as being controlling, okay? Listen, we're here to connect the dots. If that has happened to you, let's put some yellow and green hearts in the chat. Tap the screen, share the live. Tap the screen, share the live. You've ever been in a situation, someone put their hands on your shoulder and you felt extremely uncomfortable. You felt extremely helpless. You felt extremely violated. Okay? Someone rubbed your back and you felt extremely uncomfortable, okay? All right? Or someone grabbed your arm, not grabbed your arm in an aggressive way, but just, just kind of pulled your arm towards them and you felt as if they were being aggressive. That is your brain interpreting the touch on the shoulder, the rub on the back, the nudge of the arm as dangerous. Why is it perceiving that? Why is that part of your parietal lobe perceiving it like that? It's perceiving it like that because of your past experiences. Oh, baby, this gets deep. Let me tell you something. It is perceiving it like that because of your past experiences with him or with her. Okay? Okay? So I'm here to help you understand how perception, our sensory system, when we are touched, when we smell, when you hear, when you feel, that sends signals to the brain through its receptors. And the signals are based on your experiences, your pain, your trauma, okay? Your sense of abandonment, your stress. Okay? Listen, listen, tomorrow somebody's life is gonna be changed. Listen, tap the screen, share the live. Here we go. Okay, now we move on to the frontal lobe. Tap the screen, share the live. Now we move on to the frontal lobe. Here we go. The frontal lobe is extremely important, and I want you to pay very close attention. Tap the screen, share the live. I want you to pay very close attention to the frontal lobe. Here we go. The frontal lobe is in charge of problem solving, executive decision, motivation, attention. It initiates the motor cortex, speech, emotions. I'm going to pick out the top 3 that are affiliated, okay, with our topic tonight. Understanding stress, and our trauma. Watch this. Hold on. Watch this. Tap the screen, share the live. Tap the screen, share the live. Watch this. Frontal lobe. Listen to this very carefully. And as I'm saying this, I need you to reflect on a situation or a relationship, okay, that was unhealthy. I need you to reflect, because this could be healing for you. If it's too much for you, you don't have to, okay? But if you can, if you are able to, okay? Frontal lobe changes during pregnancy, correct? Up until child is 2 to 3. Yeah, there are definitely some changes, okay? That pertains to the hormones that is released by your pituitary gland. So that's something different, right? That's something different. All right. And I'll definitely talk about, the female reproductive system and being pregnant and the hormones that are affiliated with it another time. That just does not pertain to right now. But postpartum depression can definitely apply to right now, and I'll definitely highlight that, Joss. Okay. All right. So those of you that are here, tap the screen, share the live. I want you guys to reflect back on an unhealthy relationship, a toxic relationship, a unhealthy environment, a toxic environment. As I go through these, here we go. Frontal lobe, motivation, executive decision, emotions, and movement. Now watch this. Watch this. I just mentioned 4 because I want to show you something. I'm going to connect something for you right now. Those of you that have been in an unhealthy relationship, with him or with her, I want you to hold on. Wait. Let me finish this because this is important. This is the first part of us connecting the dots. Here we go. Tap the screen, share the live. This is the first part of us connecting the dots. While you were in those unhealthy and toxic environments, can you recall having a lack of motivation? Can you recall at times feeling numb and frozen? Can you recall at times not being able to express your emotions? Can you recall at times the inability to make effective executive decisions or even have engaged in critical conversation? Drop yellow hearts, green hearts right now. Let's go. The first part of healing is being honest with ourselves. Let's go. If any of those apply to you, let's be honest with ourselves. Okay, both men and women. If any of that apply to you, let me say it again. If you were in a toxic relationship, unhealthy relationship, a toxic environment, unhealthy environment, and while you were in that situation, for how many days, for how many months, for how many years, okay, I need for you, if this applies to you, drop yellow and green hearts in the chat if during that time you lost your motivation. During that time, you lost your ability to express yourself. During that time, you had moments where you were frozen. During that time, you had moments where you were numb. During that time, you did not even display your own true personality. You lost yourself. Drop yellow hearts and green hearts in the chat if that applies to you. Tap the screen, share the live, and follow me if you're not following me, okay? I'm about to make that connection, okay? Now, you were affected in those areas of your brain, particularly the prefrontal cortex and the frontal lobe. Why? Because when you are in a traumatic situation, when you are in a stressful situation, you're basically in survival mode. Hear me out. Hear me out. Based on research, while you are in survival mode, your body goes into fight or flight. Here we go. Now we get into the sympathetic nervous system. When we are in a sympathetic nervous system activated by the autonomic nervous system, that releases hormones to your adrenal glands on top of your kidneys. While you are in survival mode, your body thinks that you are in trouble. Now, because this is called chronic stress and your body is continuously releasing stressful hormones, in particularly cortisol, that affects the function of your pre-cortex, your prefrontal cortex, and your frontal lobe. Did we just make a connection? Tap the screen, share the live, drop the yellow hearts and the green hearts. Did we just make the connection? Did we just make that connection? Did I just help you learn something? Drop the hearts. Drop the green hearts and the yellow hearts. Let's go. I'm going to go over that again. Okay? Does stress cause? Absolutely. Absolutely. Based on research? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's drop the yellow hearts and the green hearts. I'm going to go over that again. Okay? We're going through the different parts of the brain, but we're paying special attention to the prefrontal cortex that is before the frontal lobe. Okay, this is the cerebrium that is broken up into 4, but I'm going to talk about 6. The 2 that I didn't mention yet that I am going to mention, okay, is called the insular lobe, okay, and the limbic system. So we're going to go over each area, but we're going to spend special time with the prefrontal cortex, the frontal lobe, the limbic system, and the insular lobe, okay? If you have ever been in an unhealthy relationship, an unhealthy environment, a toxic relationship, a toxic environment, okay, abusive, mentally, okay, physically, him or her, because both men and women go through physical and emotional and mental abuse. It's just that men are not as vocal about it because it is embarrassing, okay? It is embarrassing, and society demasculates men, okay, who are vocal about their experiences. But both men and women, I really want to acknowledge that, because we need more support for our men. As women, we have a plethora of support, but men do not. So that's why I say on my live, no, this is men and women, okay? Now, as a man and a woman, if you have been in a toxic relationship, you have been verbally abused, physically abused, mentally abused, okay? And I go through the functions of the prefrontal cortex and the frontal lobe. If any of these apply to you, I want to show you something. I want to help you understand something, because it's not always you. Yes, we're adults and we have to be accountable, but we also have to understand how the brain works and how it affects you. Okay? That's why my passion is to teach you and give you another pair of eyes as to how your brain works. Now, when we talk about the prefrontal cortex and the frontal lobe and the parietal lobe, we also have to talk about the limbic lobe. Okay, the limbic lobe, which is also known as the limbic system, and that lies in between, okay, deep within the parietal, the temporal, and the frontal. Okay, the temporal lobe is majority responsible for hearing, sensory, and memory. Okay, most people that have strokes have it at the temporal. That's why it affects their speech, okay, and their movement, okay? But a stroke can happen anywhere. But people who suffer a stroke in the temporal lobe, you'll know because their speech is affected, okay? All right, if it's affected in the frontal lobe, then their movement, personality, decisions would be affected, okay? Now, I want everybody to understand how this works. I want you to understand how this works. When you're in a toxic relationship, when you're in a toxic environment, you are stressed. You're literally in survival mode. Let me say it again. When you're in a toxic situation, when you're in a toxic relationship, you are living in survival mode. You are living in survival mode, both men and women. Okay? When you are living in survival mode, based on research and literature, your body thinks that you are in trouble. Okay? Our bodies are meant to protect us. So if our bodies think we are in trouble, what is it going to do naturally? It's going to release the hormones that it needs to. It's going to release the neurotransmitters that it needs to, okay? So that our body can prepare for fight or flight. The problem is when we're enduring or tolerating toxic relationships and in toxic situations, okay, this is ongoing. Therefore, the parts of a brain that are mostly affected are those parts of the brain that are associated with emotions. And what parts are they? Prefrontal cortex, frontal lobe, okay? And we also have other parts that I'm going to talk about later that have to do with the limbic system, okay? We have your amygdala, we have your hippocampus, okay? And we have your hypothalamus. All of these areas are affected. Now, if you have been unable, while you were in that toxic relationship, while you were in that toxic environment, if you lost your motivation, okay? If your personality was not the same, if at any point in time you found yourself frozen or numb, if at any point in time you could not make critical decisions or executive decisions, whether it be having to do with your house or your job, okay? If at any point in time your perception of touch, if someone touched your shoulder, rubbed your back, or pulled your arm, you were startled, okay? You couldn't even perceive the perception of touch to be positive because of your current environment. That is because you were living in survival mode. And those parts of your brain were affected because of the trauma. Not only that, Because you were living in survival mode, your body started to produce hormones and neurotransmitters, okay, to make contact with the adrenal glands on top of the kidneys to prepare your body for fight or flight, okay? Now, let's talk about how your body prepares for fight or flight, all right? Your body prepares for fight or flight like this, all right? Here we have initially. Initially, what happens during fight or flight? In a temporary, what happens is you see something, you're walking along the road and you see a snake. Tap the screen, share the live, guys. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for being here, okay? If you're not following me, follow me. That's the only way you know I'm live, baby. I am here to teach you how to understand your emotions, your trauma, your stresses, your decisions, and your behaviors through anatomy, okay? That's what I do. Tap the screen and share the live. Let's go, okay? Now, let me give you a brief breakdown of fight or flight and how the autonomic system works. Okay, now we're connecting it all together. We're connecting it all together. Okay, here we go. If you're walking along the road, okay, and you see a snake, you see, boom, you see a snake. Your sensory division has received that. Your receptors is going to carry those signals to your brain. The hippocampus is going to remember, this is dangerous. Your amygdala is going to set into motion. That's the fear factory of your brain. That's going to communicate with your hypothalamus. That's basically the relay area of your brain to integrate all of the information that's coming in. Okay, from the sensory division. Then it communicates to the pituitary gland, which is the master gland. It's now going to disperse hormones via your spine. Okay, those neurotransmitters are going to come down your spine and they're going to make contact with your adrenal glands on top of your kidneys. Okay, inside of your adrenal glands, we're now going to produce epinephrine. Epinephrine is then going to now release adrenaline. Adrenaline is going to set into motion a couple of things. Watch this. To protect you, adrenaline is now going to shut down your digestive system. Why? Because during fight or flight, there is no need to help you to digest anything. It's now going to your peripheral hands and your peripheral feet. Blood vessels are constricted. Why? Because we need more blood towards your muscular division. Okay. What else? Your heart rate is going to pump increasingly. Why? Because we need more blood to your muscular system. Okay. Your respiration, your lungs is going to increase. Why? Because if your heart is increasing, your lungs need to keep up, so your respiration increases. Your eyes start to dilate so that your vision, okay, is more adequate. All right? Now, all of this is happening. And not to mention, your immune system is suppressed. Why? Your immune system is suppressed during fight or flight because the body needs energy. What's more important? The body has prioritized that your safety is more important. Therefore, it's going to start to get the body ready to fight or flight. However, just as it's there to help you, it's also there to compromise. Okay? It's also there to compromise. All right. So this is what I want everyone to understand. The fight or flight initiation is a defense mechanism. It is important for us to have. However, when we are constantly under stress, when we are constantly in survival mode, now the body has to go into resistance to try to compensate with what is taking place, because the body wasn't meant to endure mental and emotional stress. But now you're in mental and emotional stress because you're in a relationship that's toxic, or you're living somewhere that's toxic, or you have a job that's unhealthy and toxic, okay? So now you're in survival mode. So that process that I just described that happens by the fight or flight, now it is going to happen consistently, okay? Not necessarily by the fight or flight, but a lesser system, but still it's responding to stress. Now we have a negative loophole that goes back to the brain, communicates, the pituitary gland communicates with the hypothalamus, and now we have neurotransmitters that are released in the bloodstream. This is responsible for the long-term and chronic stress. Now that same response makes contact with the adrenal glands on top of the kidneys, okay, in the cortex of the kidneys. Listen very carefully. This is where I'm going to connect not only living in survival mode, not only the fight or flight response, not only the trauma, the stress, and the toxic relationships. Watch this. During chronic stress, the body now makes contact with the adrenal glands on top of the kidneys. Once it does that, there are two long-term steroids and hormones that start to release in your body. One is cortisol, two is aldosterone. One is cortisone, two is aldosterone. Cortisol tells your body, let me tell you what cortisol does, okay? Cortisol tells your liver, hey liver, I need more sugar, okay? Cortisol tells your liver, hey liver, I need more cholesterol. I want you to stay with me because we're about to connect some serious dots, okay? All right? Cortisol tells your liver, you can't make vitamin D anymore. And if your liver can no longer make vitamin D, that means your bones won't be able to absorb vitamin D. Guess what happens? Osteoporosis. Cortisol tells your body to make more sugar. Guess what happens? Diabetes. Aldosterone tells your body to hold on to salt. Guess what happens? Hypertension. Cortisol tells your liver to make more cholesterol, converts it into fatty acids. Guess what happens? High cholesterol. Let me connect the dots for you. Being in a toxic environment, a toxic relationship, over a period of time, it not only changes how your brain works, because remember, your frontal lobe is responsible for what? Critical thinking, motivation, personality, executive decision, and emotions. Think about it. When you were in that toxic relationship, when you were in that toxic environment, when you were working at that toxic job, or you may still be there, you may still be at that toxic, unhealthy job, you may still be in that toxic, unhealthy relationship. I want you to think for a second. Are you able to express yourself? Do you feel motivated? Your personality, has it been altered? Critical thinking, can you think clearly? Executive decisions, can you make those important decisions like you used to? Numbness, are you feeling more sense of just being numb? Are you feeling more sense of having episodes of feeling frozen? If you are experiencing all of these things or some of them, yes, your frontal lobe and the actions that it perform has been affected. And that goes along with research, and we're going to look at the research too. We're going to look at the research. Research and literature says when persons are in a toxic relation, or I should say, when persons are in traumatic situations, It changes their brain. Okay? It changes your brain. When you stop using parts of your brain, it atrophies and those neurons die. When neurons in the brain die, they don't come back. Let me say it again. When parts of your brain, and particularly the parts that have to do with emotion, the prefrontal cortex, your frontal lobe, your parietal lobe, your limbic lobe and limbic system, when those areas are affected because you have been in a toxic relationship, toxic environment for an extended period of time, and your body has had to find a way to cope, and it has had to be in this state of resistance and this state of survival. When that happens, your brain is then affected. And the parts of your brain that are associated with emotion are now altered. And once they are altered and suppressed, and those areas are no longer used, those neurons die. And when they die, they don't come back. Now, not to mention, when your body is in a state of survival, it is releasing neurotransmitters and steroids to keep your body as best as it can in proper equilibrium and in proper homeostasis. Okay? Now, in order for your body to do that, there's a compromise. That means it has to release these hormones. And just as these hormones are here, cortisol, aldosterone, they're here to protect you. They also compromise you. How is that, Trish? How does it compromise you? Let me tell you. And you guys can do your research also. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here. Tap the screen, share the live. Tap the screen, share the live. I appreciate you. My name is Trish Miami, aka Professor Trish. I teach health science. This is my passion. I make health science applicable, okay, to mental health, to try to give people a different perspective on what's happening to them. Okay, it's not enough for a person, a family member, or a friend to say to you, "Oh, leave that job. Oh, leave him, leave her." That doesn't resonate. And there's a reason why that's not resonating. Okay. But if I can show you, thank you so much for becoming a part of the team, baby. Thank you. If I can show you how that situation and that relationship is ultimately making you sick, is ultimately shrinking your brain, is ultimately, okay, going to cause you to have some after a while, irreversible diseases and conditions, then you have to ask yourself, oh my God, is this situation, is this person worth me having dementia? Yes. Trauma and chronic stress has been linked to dementia. Is this situation or this person worth me being on dialysis? Yes. Chronic stress and trauma and traumatic experiences and toxic environments have been linked to kidney disease, diabetes, heart disease. Yes. Okay. Autoimmune disease. Yes. Why? Because you are in survival mode. You are in survival mode. Okay? You are in survival mode. How can it repair? How can it be reversed? Yes, it can be reversed. And that goes with rewiring your brain. Okay? That goes with rewiring your brain. Okay? That's what that is. And what does that mean? That means you have to start with a process of unlearning. Okay? You got to start with a process of unlearning. All right? Let me break it down to you. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Oh, TikTok didn't give me a big face again. It didn't give me a big face. Okay. It gave me a funny looking face earlier. That was hilarious. Okay. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you guys can hear me clearly. Were you here, Anna, when they gave me big face? That was hilarious. I was like, what the hell is that? Miss Kiki, what's going on, baby? See, beautiful change. What's up, baby? So, guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Listen. I've been teaching health science for 22 years. It is my passion, and I utilize it as a tool to help people that's going through so much emotionally and mentally to see things from a different perspective. Sometimes it is not enough for a person to say, leave your job, leave him, leave her, leave that place. That doesn't register because you can't see it. Or maybe you do see it and you have disassociated yourself with the reality of what's going on, because that is a thing too. Okay? So there are many different reasons why people stay in situations. And sometimes when people are quick to judge and say, well, why are you there? Duh. You say you're not happy, leave. Duh. You know what I'm saying? It's like that judgmental. They don't understand the anatomy. Okay? They don't understand the anatomy, and it's incorrect to blame someone for staying in a situation. Okay? We've often seen people who have been kidnapped, okay? Literally out in the open with their kidnapper. Out in the open with their kidnapper. Going shopping with their kidnapper, and do not scream, do not say one iota. They go along. And listen, it's not as easy as people think, and it's bigger than we want to believe, especially when you're not educated about the brain. Okay, so let me help you. Let me help you as it pertains to, tell them about the definitely. Let me help you as it pertains to mental and emotional health. And like I said, if you stay here long enough, I am giving away one free session, okay? In that free session, in that wellness session, that wellness consultation, okay? I do a mental and physical assessment. We meet on Zoom, okay? We talk, we discuss. I provide a blueprint for you, okay? In terms of getting you back on track mentally and emotionally and physically. I'm giving that away this session if you stay here long enough. Okay, so the person who's been taking notes, okay, the person who's been taking notes, I'm going to be asking a couple of questions. And if you get those questions correctly, boom, you are the winner. Easy breezy, right? Okay, so let me help you guys understand something very important. Okay, first and foremost, when we are in traumatic experiences, and a lot of people will say, well, I'm good, I'm not. No, you think you good because you think you have gotten used to it. You have not gotten used to it, baby. It's still stressful. You're getting used to is staying busy. You're getting used to is working longer hours. You're getting used to is deflecting. You're getting used to is finding different vices, taking a drink, eating more, comfort eating, shopping more, gambling more, having physical encounters more. Those are not answers, and they're not solutions, and they do not help. Okay? They do not help. No matter how often you do it, it doesn't help. What you're doing is living in a facade and thinking that what you're doing is helping for the moment because it makes you feel good for the moment. But the issue is still there. Okay? So I am here to give you the tools and to give you the insight to see the bigger picture and to say, wow, really? Yes, that is what happens when we are in survival mode. Okay? When we are in survival mode, for whatever reason, okay, it could be you're living out in the forest. It could be you're living in a very unsafe situation or environment. Okay, it could be anything in regards to where your health and wellness is jeopardized, right? It could be a relationship with someone. It could be a job. Okay, you are in survival mode. Your brain, it can't tell whether it's a bear, a snake, an alligator. It just knows you are trying to survive. And where we are in survival mode, our brains interpret that as, uh-oh, she he is in trouble. And when that happens, a set of neurotransmitters, a set of hormones, a set of steroids are released to protect us. Unfortunately, not only does it protect, it also compromises. So while we're in that toxic relationship, while we're in that toxic environment, and we think we have gotten used to it, and we're waiting for that person to change, and we're waiting for that person to get back to their representative, and we're waiting for that person to treat us like we treat them, and it never happens. But while you're waiting for it, and I'm going to explain why you're waiting for it, you're waiting for something to happen that never happens. And some people wait months, some people wait years. And while you're waiting in that survival mode, while you're waiting in that resistance stage, your body is constantly trying to protect you. Constantly trying to protect you. And while it's protecting you, unfortunately, it's also compromising you, making you susceptible to disease and condition. Yes. Please research this, okay? Because I stick to literature, I stick to research, okay? And I stick to nothing but concrete evidence. All right? So I'm here to give you the bigger picture. So you can ask yourself, wow, is this situation worth my health, my heart, my kidneys, my bones, my brain? Seriously? Yes. Okay? So you have to ask yourself, are you ready to make a change? And the change starts here. Are you ready? Because only you can do it. There's no amount of money, no amount of red bottoms, no amount of videos that go viral, no amount of material things, no amount of name brand clothes, no amount of traveling around the world, no jets, no planes, no automobiles, none. Okay? So you have to ask yourself, are you ready to do the work? Because the work starts here. It starts with accountability. It starts with letting go of the shame, the guilt. It starts with self-forgiveness. It starts with forgiveness of them. They don't have to acknowledge you. They don't have to forgive you. But baby, you got to forgive yourself and you got to forgive them. Okay? That is the beginning of rewiring your brain. Starting to take in, thank you so much, baby, for joining the team. Team Learn, Live, and Longevity, baby. Thank you so much. Okay? You have to decide. And it starts here. It starts here. No amount of money, no amount of success, no matter how busy you stay, no matter how well you distract, no matter how you gamble, you spend money, you dress yourself up, your social media is big, you got a lot of followers, you have a lot of distraction, it doesn't matter. And I want you guys to think about famous people and celebrities that go into nervous breakdowns and mental breakdowns, or they perish, by their lives being, by them unfortunately unaliving themselves. Okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Money holds no weight. None. Success holds no weight. None. If we don't do the work here, it's going to catch up with you. Okay? So I'm here to help you. I'm here to give you a different perspective. And we're going to go over the literature. Okay? And try to understand, all right, how can I start? How can I begin? The first step is accountability. What role did I play? That is the most difficult question, because nobody wants to be accountable for a situation to where they feel like they put in their all. They put in their sweat equity, okay? Nobody wants to. It is easier to point fingers, right? It's easier to point fingers. It's easier to stay distracted. It's easier to stay busy. It's easier to self-indulge. But the time comes. The time comes where none of that will suffice. And you are left with dealing with self. Okay? So if you're ready, it starts with self-accountability. What role did I have? And what role are you talking about? When you go back to that time, that place, there's always this one time that something happened. A job, home, family, relationship. And it set literally the next 15, 20 years trajectory of your decisions. Okay? Literally. So if you could think back to that time, and you can say to yourself, wow, what role did I play? And you can write it down and you can be honest with yourself. And then you can start to move forward and release and forgive self and stay in prayer and forgive people and walk with the intention to create new memories and to create new emotions that are affiliated with those memories. Now you're on the way to rewiring. Now you're on the way to utilizing your frontal lobe, the motivation, the critical thinking, the executive thoughts, the emotions, the speech, the initiation of movement, your prefrontal cortex, your thoughts, regulating your emotions, regulating your action. You see what I'm saying? It's all about taking that first step. Okay? It's all about taking that first step. It doesn't have to be a relationship. It could be a situation. It could be a living condition. That's why I keep saying person or place. It could be a living condition, right? It could be a living condition. It could be a person, okay? It could be an environment, right? Whatever it is, and whatever effect it had on you at that point in time. Because in all of our lives, there is one occasion that just set off a ripple effect of us making a certain type of decision. You see what I'm saying? So we have to come to that place and we have to understand and we have to be willing to go back and mentally and say, that was it. We have to be willing to reflect and say, you know what? That was it. And recall your role in that. Not blame your role. Because accountability is huge, okay? It's huge. There's no situation that we cannot be accountable for. The only people that are not accountable for their trauma are babies and children because of their innocence and because they're taken advantage of. In a situation like that, if your trauma stemmed from something that happened as a child, now it boils down to guilt. Feeling like it's your fault. And that is what you start with, right? But as an adult, more accountability. As a child, releasing the guilt, releasing the shame, okay? So as a child, it starts with releasing the shame and the guilt, okay? And even forgiving of self for feeling ashamed, right? As an adult, it's accountability because we choose to be in relationships with people. And oftentimes we think we can change people. Oftentimes we see someone that's a project and we want to contribute to their process because we think we can save them. We think we can fix them. You can't fix nothing but a broken table, okay? You can't fix nothing but a TV box. You cannot fix people. Therapists can't even fix people. Psychiatrists can't even fix people. We cannot fix the people that we're in a relationship with. You cannot. So that's why as an adult, accountability that is the role. Because we chose to stay in this relationship because I saw his potential or I saw her potential. Okay? And we're going to talk about why that happens. Okay? So we stay because we're trying to save, we're trying to fix, and we're trying to build up. Okay? How'd that work out? And hey, I've been there. I've been there. I've been there. One time it happened once, and trust me, it would never happen again. I've been there. I've been the fixer and the builder upper, and I've been there. Okay, so I'm speaking from experience, and I'm speaking from professionally. Okay, so no, as an adult, we want to acknowledge. You know what? I may have been a good guy. I may have been a good woman, but you know what? I saw those flags. I saw all 55,000 of them. And I thought that I could make this person better. I could help to change this person. I could pour into this person. Okay? I thought, even though I saw the 5,050 flags, okay? I thought, right? So you thought you can change her and make her better, and you thought you can change him and make him better. So you tolerated, all right? Hoping that they will get better. It never happened. Maybe they got better with somebody else. Maybe you built them up to get them better for somebody else. In that case, they owe you a check. In that case, they owe you a check, okay? In that case, you need to get paid because that was a whole job. Okay? So you built them up, you motivated them, and you poured into them only to end up with somebody else, and they shining with that person. They owe you a check, okay? You need to have your lawyer talk to their people and say, "Excuse me, services rendered." All right. But all jokes aside, we're going to go back in the anatomy. Just wanted to come up and say a few words. Thank you guys for being here. Tap the screen, share the live. I appreciate you. Health science is my passion. You know, I'm going to turn it into something that's going to help you emotionally and mentally. Okay. If you're appreciating the content, if you're appreciating my passion, tap the screen, share the live, drop the yellow and green hearts in the chat. Make sure you're following me and turn on your notifications to on. Listen, this live, I am going to be giving away a free health and wellness consultation. Yes, we're going to come up with a blueprint, baby, that is going to help you, okay, get on the right track to getting yourself back to where you need to be, okay? Back to a place where you can go nowhere but up, baby. All right, that will be the goal of our consultation. So I will be giving that away for free. This live, I'll be asking questions that I have been talking about. So I hope you've been taking notes. All right, let's get back to the books. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm such a nerd when it comes to learning about science, especially. Oh, I love it. Yay. Awesome. I love it. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Hope you're following, and I hope you're tapping. I hope you're enjoying the content. Thank you. Okay, now let's get back. Here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to go back, guys, because I want to make sure that you guys understood. Okay, so I'm going to kind of do a recap. I'm going to do a recap before we go to part 2. Okay, we only have 2 parts. Don't worry. I'm going to do a recap before we go to part 2. Okay, all my adult life for my children, grandchildren. I'm starting my healing process now, baby. Listen, yo, okay? Keyword in your statement, baby. You are starting, okay? Oftentimes as mothers, oftentimes as grandmothers, oftentimes as fathers. You know, we got to give some fathers some credit. You have some single fathers out here too. So oftentimes for mothers, grandfathers, and uncles, and fathers and grandfathers, okay? And uncles, oftentimes we sacrifice ourselves, our goals, our dreams, okay, to make sure our children, grandchildren are protected, they're taken care of, okay, and you raise them right. And you know what? That's what you're supposed to do. So now it's your turn. So I commend you, yo. I commend you. Thank you so much for being here. Tap the screen and share the live. And if you're not following me, definitely follow me. And if you would like to contribute to the gold box, the gift box up here, be my guest. Thank you so much. I'll appreciate it. I appreciate any support. Tap the screen, share alive, following me. I appreciate that. Okay, here we go. Now, let's do a quick recap. So we started off just going over parts of the brain. Okay, parts of the brain that are relevant to our topic tonight. All right, we talked about the cerebrium and the 4 sections, but I also included 2 more sections. Okay, the cerebrium is the largest part of the brain, taking up 80%. Okay, you also have your cerebellum right here. That's also called your hindbrain and your mini brain. And its function, its primary function is motor, which pertains to your balance, your posture, okay, your movement. All right, that's the primary function of your cerebellum. Now we have here your occipital. Occipital is posterior. Posterior just means back. Okay, posterior to the front. Okay, and that the primary use function is sight, right here in the purple. All right, sight. So yes, the furthest part of our brain is in control of sight. So imagine when you look at something, okay, because remember, our sensory division receives the information, okay, gives it to our central nervous system, and then it forms an image. Okay, so when we see something initially, I know it happens so quickly, you think it's an image being formed like that, but no, there's a process that needs to happen. Okay, we receive the information, it goes through the receptors, it travels to that part of the brain to make out what that image is. Okay, remarkable stuff. Okay, now we have our parietal. Our parietal part of our parietal lobe does play a role in our topic tonight, because our parietal lobe has to do with sensation, perception of sensation. What does that mean? Perception of touch, perception of temperature, perception of pain. Okay, those are very important parts to understand when we're talking about our relationships, when we're talking about trauma and toxic environments. Okay, now we go from the parietal lobe to the frontal lobe, okay, which is the largest of all the lobes. Okay, and it is also broken into the prefrontal cortex, which is the front. Okay, now the frontal lobe has to do with a lot of our most important functions. Okay, a lot of our important functions. No, not necessarily. No, because movement. No. Neuropathy, depending on where it is, neuropathy is due to nerve damage. Now, there are many different things that cause nerve damage. Okay, we like to look at the core and the source of what is causing the issue. So again, the most common is diabetes neuropathy. In diabetes neuropathy, we know that because of high levels of glucose, okay, that damages the intricate fibers of the blood vessels and the nerve vessels. Okay, and because of that causes diabetes neuropathy, right? So that's why it's important to see a doctor, get evaluated, get blood tests, get urine tests, get diagnostic tests, so you can be referred to the right specialist, and that specialist would do the appropriate tests. Okay, thank you guys for being here. Tap the screen, share alive. Okay, now we ended up in the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe, basically, we're talking about a lot of important decisions, a lot of important functions, executive function, motivation, personality, speech, emotions, critical thinking, logic, rationality, problem solving, attention, okay, and a few other more, but those are the main ones. Okay, and then we have our temporal lobe, which is primarily auditorial. However, there is a speech component and there's also a hearing component. Okay, so going over the parts of the brain helps us to understand when you're in a traumatic relationship, when you're in a toxic relationship, when you're in an unhealthy environment, okay? When what part of the brain regulate thyroid levels? I was recently diagnosed with hypothyroidism. That's your pituitary gland. Your pituitary gland is your master gland, okay? Your pituitary gland is your master gland, and that basically disperses information and tells all of the organs that are a part of the endocrine system what to do and how much hormones and steroids to uptake. So you would need to definitely you should be under the care of your primary care doctor and an endocrinologist. Okay? All right? So, understanding what parts is important. If you have been in an unhealthy relationship, a toxic relationship, unhealthy environment, a toxic environment, ask yourself these questions. Did you feel less motivated? Were you able to express yourself? Did you experience episodes of being frozen, like you couldn't move? Numbness, like you couldn't feel? Speechless, like you couldn't even formulate your words? Were you unable to contribute to high-level conversations? Were you unable to engage in critical thinking discussions? Okay, you were in that situation and you experienced these things. Go ahead and drop green hearts and yellow hearts in the chat, okay? Because I'm not asking you, I am telling you, the longer you are in a toxic environment or a toxic relationship, you will wholeheartedly, okay, experience these things. Personality. Did you stop being yourself? You used to laugh, okay? You used to be, the person that lit up the room, okay? And all of a sudden, now you're the opposite. You're quiet. You're not laughing anymore. You're not engaging. You're not social. Yes, I'm telling you, these are the areas of the brain that are highly affected when you are in toxic relationships and when you are in toxic environments, okay? Now, when that happens, because you are living that way, that means you are surviving. Because you are in survival mode, your body thinks that you are in trouble. When your body thinks that you are in trouble, guess what happens? Your autonomic system, your ANS, is triggered, and your sympathetic nervous system is further triggered. And what is your sympathetic nervous system? That initiates fight or flight. And over a period of time, now we go into a resistance phase where your body is constantly trying to stabilize itself and trying to establish homeostasis, which it never does, but it tries anyway. Okay? And while we're in our autonomic nervous system and while our sympathetic nervous system is triggered, guess what happens? Our body releases a set of new neurotransmitters, hormones, and steroids, okay, to negate the sympathetic nervous system. What does that mean? Those hormones and steroids now make communication with the adrenal glands. When it makes communication with the adrenal glands, now we have a disbursement of two hormones, cortisol and steroids, aldosterone. What does that mean? Cortisol needs sugar. So it's going to ask the liver, hey, make more sugar. Okay. It makes more sugar. Now you have elevated blood sugar. Now you have an increase of what? Diabetes. Aldosterone tells your body to hold on to salt. Now you have elevated salt in your blood. Now high blood pressure. Cortisol also needs cholesterol. Now you have high levels of cholesterol, blood cholesterol, and particularly triglycerides. That's bad. The cholesterol is bad for your heart. The elevated cholesterol is bad for your heart. The elevated glucose is bad for your pancreas. And holding on to salt is bad for your kidneys. Not only that, but when our bodies are in survival mode, okay, guess what happens? Because we are in survival mode, what's the priority? The priority is to keep you safe. So your digestive system is suppressed. So if you've been experiencing your indigestion and your inability to digest foods, and your doctors have diagnosed you with the famous IBS, which is basically a cluster of symptoms, and IBS is not even an actual, it's a symptom. IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. That's 1,000 different things. That is 1,000 different things. Okay. And basically what has just happened now, you have the inability to digest your foods. Why? One reason is you are in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, cortisol shuts down, suppresses your digestive system. Oh yes, please do your research. Okay. Now, when your digestive system is suppressed, guess what else is suppressed? Your immune system. Because when the body thinks you are in trouble, it is not concerned with fighting off viruses and bacteria. Okay? No. It's concerned about saving your life. So guess what? Your immune system is suppressed. So your ability to fight off bacterial and viruses is suppressed. Let me ask you this. When is the last time you been having trouble with that UTI, yeast infection, sinus infection, ear infection? Okay, listen, upper respiratory infection. Oh yes, I could go on and on. And you're wondering, oh my gosh, I'm so healthy. I exercise, I eat good. I go to yoga, I meditate. It doesn't matter. You're in survival mode. You're in survival mode. You're in survival mode. As long as you are in survival mode, your body will produce hormones to prepare your body to fight or flight. Period. Don't take my word for it. Let's look at the research. Okay, let's look at the research. Now, remember, I'm connecting the dots. We've gone from trauma. Okay, I'm connecting the dots. Trauma. Frontal lobe, prefrontal cortex, parietal lobe. Also, the limbic system. Remember, the limbic system has to do with emotional behavior and expression. It also incorporates your amygdala, your hippocampus, and hypothalamus. Okay? All right. Now, what does that mean? Basically, in a nutshell, whenever we go through a fight or flight situation and we see something and we deem our sensory division is from our sensory division, we perceive that we are in danger, our hippocampus is activated. Oh my goodness. Do I remember seeing this before? Is this dangerous? Is this dangerous? The amygdala is then activated. Yes, this is dangerous because your amygdala is where your fear factory is, your traumatic memory is, and your aggression is, okay? And any emotions affiliated with that, all right? Then it communicates with your hypothalamus, okay? Your limbic system is really important. This is the system that basically integrates your emotions that are affiliated with fear, trauma, toxic environments, okay? Please understand that, all right? Now, depending on our experiences, when we first meet somebody and we're with them for a period of time, normally an abuser is not an abuser on the first date or the first couple of months, right? They make you feel comfortable. All right. So the first year or two, your brain is collecting memories. Your brain is associating memories with those experiences, in particular your hippocampus. Okay. Here is where all of those memories are stored. All of those memories are stored, right? Now, when that person starts to show you who they are, because they will. Tap the screen and share it live, guys. Tap the screen and share it live. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. Tap the screen and share it live. When that person shows you who they are, because they will, because no one can keep up a representative. They just can't. It's too much work. Okay? After a while, what happens? I'll tell you what happens. Remember, we have our hippocampus, our amygdala. Okay, that's a part of our limbic system, limbic lobe. Okay. Now, let me break it down to you. And tell me if you can relate. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Tell me if you can relate to this. My ladies and my gents. You meet someone, right? You meet them, it's all good. She's beautiful. She can cook. She loves your kids. Your family loves her. She's perfect in terms of how she looks, right? You meet Mr. Guy. Oh, he's such a gentleman. Opens the door, pulls out your chair, tells you you're beautiful. Fresh in the morning. No eyelashes, no hair attachments, no makeup. He looks at you. He's like, girl, you're so beautiful. Okay? He comes home from work. He helps you with the dishes. He helps around the house. And he's a provider. And he's establishing leadership. Jackpot, right? Okay. So now, after a while, let's just say about 2 years, you start to notice that some of the things that he and she were doing, they're not doing anymore. So she is not cooking like she used to. Now you come home and you see boxes of pizza and KFC. The sex, she's not as available anymore. Now you're lucky if you get it once a week. The kids, remember at the beginning, the first year, 2 years, she was so invested in your kids. She took them to volleyball practice, helped them with their homework. Now, those not my kids. Before, he opened doors, he pulled out chairs. He told you he loved you in the morning, honey. Told you he loved your personality and loved the fact that you can talk to anybody and that you were so social. Now, you talk too much. You think you know it all. And you need to put on some makeup. Oh, and I'm not washing dishes. That's your job. Okay? So now, they're starting to show their true colors. That at some point, you started to have a lapse in memory. Oh, yes. Early onset dementia has been proven to be a precursor to traumatic, emotional, mental, and physical trauma. Yes. Yes. And I'll use one person that most of us know and have seen them unfortunately decline. Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams for years was in survival mode. She's actually a great example. Wendy Williams was living in survival, has been living in survival mode all her life. All her life. From her episodes of using, insecurity, self-esteem, miscarriages. When she met Kevin, she gravitated to what she thought she needed. Okay? Based on what I read, she was fully aware of his transgressions. She accepted that. Based on what I read. It wasn't a surprise that he had extramarital affairs. She has been in a survival mode for years. She used her job and her platform. She self-medicated with it. Like I said, the time always comes where you have to deal with you. And unfortunately, to her demise, It came on the brinks of the world seeing and knowing how disrespectful this man was to her. On top of everything, having a baby and using her money to purchase a home not far from them. The betrayal is beyond. But what that did to her, the stress it caused her. If you really look back at the Wendy Williams show, and again, she functioned as everything was okay prior to her husband's secret life being exposed to the world. But she was never okay. She was never okay. Never okay. Okay. Just like most of us, she functioned. She showed up to work and she functioned. Okay. Once it became public, what transpired, and even when it became public, she denied it. Pick up other jobs, we pick up other assignments, we pick up other projects, we stay busy. And that's what she did. Just because she was a celebrity didn't make her any different. She was human. She stayed busy just like we stay busy. Okay. But again, with what was exposed to the world, complete embarrassment and betrayal. Not that she was already in survival mode, but this really took her over the edge. It honestly took her over the edge. It took her over the edge. Even when she came back and was trying to say, oh, I'm going to date, she was really trying to push forward as if it didn't affect her at great depths and heights, but it did. It did. It did. It affected her. So on top of the years of her being in survival mode and the years of trauma, this on top of that sent this woman into a complete oblivion when it came to toxicity and her health, to the point where now she can't even take care of herself. That's what a combination of experiences and trauma did to her, and that's what it does to a lot of people. And she has the form of dementia, quite honestly, within 5 to 7 years tops. That's why at this point she can't even take care of herself. It's sad. It's sad. That situation propelled her. I don't know if she would have eventually developed it anyway, but what I do know is, based on research, that whole situation sped it up, knocked on the door and said hello. Okay, so just understanding what stress does, understanding what trauma does, and that's what I do. I try to teach it, break it down, connect the dots, and I teach it first by understanding parts of the brain and how they are applicable to you, and help you see, okay, the actions that has been inhibited and the things that you have not been able to do, and how that is associated with that relationship and with that environment, that unhealthy relationship and that unhealthy environment. Okay, so I hope I was able to connect those dots. Okay, now I would like to look at some literature. All right, but tap the screen, share the live, and drop those yellow and green hearts if you've been with me from the beginning. I'm still going to give away that free health and wellness consultation to help you get back on track. Okay, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So if you've been here from the beginning, I have questions. And if you can answer those questions, you will be the winner of that. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do now is look at some literature. Because one thing I don't do, I don't have opinions, baby. Okay. I teach based on research, evidence, and literature. All right, so tap the screen, share the live, follow me if you're not already following me, and let me know has this helped? Okay, let me know in the chat, has this helped? Has this information helped you, and how has it helped you? Okay, just briefly let me know in the chat. I would yeah, she did, she suffered, absolutely. Yes, it's sad. Yes. And for the individuals that say that, oh, she deserves it because of what she did. What did she do? She did her job. She did her job. She was great at what she did. She was the Rumorville. She did her job. You know what I'm saying? So to say that, you know, her disease is a reflection of is karma, it's just ignorance. I can't take people's ignorance. I can't. So I use her as an example because her situation is real and it happens to millions of people. It just happens out of the limelight of the public. When you're a celebrity, it happens. Your life is unfold in front of everyone. But that situation happens on a daily to everybody that's in a situation to where they're in survival mode. Okay. And you're going through chronic stress and not understanding what is happening to your body. That's where I come in. Okay. I've been teaching health science for 22 years, and in particularly as how it pertains to chronic stress. Okay. And trauma, stress, and toxic relationships and toxic environments. Okay. So tonight, what we have done, we have looked at the parts of the brain. We talked about the functions. We discussed, was this something that you can relate to? We talked about survival mode. We talked about the ANS system. Okay. We talked about, the sympathetic nervous system and how that affects you and the body, trying to protect you, but also compromising you. And what does that lead to? We talked about disease and condition, the manifestation of that. Listen, this thing gets real, and I don't think people understand. So when I say to people, masking, comfort eating, no go. Taking shots and drinking, no go. Having sporadic intimacy and being physical and having sex with, no go. Okay? Having money, no go. And actually having money makes it worse because you have more accessibility to things, and you surround people around you that are yes people. That's the danger in having money. That's the danger in having money. Okay? Because you can afford to create your facade in reality. Whereas people with no money, oh no, your friend's gonna tell it to you like it is. Like, girl, really? Or my guy, really? So none of that works. And how do we know none of it works? Because we have seen over the years people that live in the celebrity limelight, that have the millions and billions of dollars, okay, and still fall into situations to where they have unfortunately unalived themselves or become tremendously sick, all due to chronic stress, not managing it, and the continuing effort to live in a facade. Something that you can take with you if you have learned, if you have found value, okay, in my lecture, in my teachings, okay. Again, if you have found value in it and you can, wow, I could take that from it. I can take that from it. I can apply this tomorrow. I can apply that tomorrow. I can make better decisions. Okay. I can, make better judgment. Oh, I understand. Wow. Is that why I was doing this? Is that why I was doing that? Yes. Understanding this is understanding you. If you don't understand your brain, baby, you just navigating life, following people, to be honest. Okay. If you don't understand you, you're just following. If this person goes here, you go here. Oh, what? They don't. Oh, over here. Okay. Oh, there. Oh, okay. What there? Okay. You all over the place. If you don't understand your brain, you're all over the place, because this right here runs this. This runs this. Period. So let's look at some literature. Let's go. All right. Again, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you sharing my passion with me. Honestly, I really do. Okay. All right. So we're going to look at some and another thing also, when it comes to strokes and heart attacks, like we were speaking of before, go ahead and drop some red hearts in the chat if you know someone or you yourself has had a stroke or heart attack within the past several years. Let's go. Drop it. Let's go. Let's see what's going on. All right. Let's see. Strokes and heart attacks. Red hearts in the chat. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. Okay. All right. Strokes and heart. Wow. Okay. Red hearts, whether it's yourself or family. Yourself or a family. Okay. Now again, tonight's lecture, again, the focus is chronic stress, trauma, being in toxic relationships, toxic environments. Okay, so we don't want to dismiss the fact that a stroke and a heart attack can happen for other various reasons. Okay, we're just focused on the stress component tonight, but wow, that says a lot, man. That says a lot. Drop yellow hearts in the chat if you've been recently diagnosed with diabetes, hypertension, or high cholesterol. Let's go. Yellow hearts. Come on, let's go. Accountability time. Come on. Yellow hearts. Okay, wow. Oh, wow. We got to get it right, people. We got to get it right. And you know what's the beautiful thing about the body is? You have time to get it right. You have time to get it right. High cholesterol. Oh, we got to fix that, Sonny. We got to fix that, baby. Oh, high blood. Oh, we bless Queen. We have to fix that. And it starts with here. Baby. That's why I do what I do. It starts with here. It starts with understanding you. If you could understand you, then you could do better. Okay? So, let's go. All right. So we're going to look at some literature. Okay. Pre-diabetic. Oh, we got to get it right. And everything that you guys are mentioning, everything points to heart disease. And anybody knows what the number one unaliver is globally and in the United States? Anybody knows what the number one unaliver is? The number one unaliver. What is the number one unaliver? Anybody know? I'm gonna pull that literature up too, so you guys can see. You know what? Hold on. Let me pull up my notes on here. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna look. I want you guys, since there's so many of you here that either have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, pre-diabetes, or diabetes, I want you guys to understand something. Check this out. Tap the screen, share alive. Okay. A lot of you put in the chat high cholesterol, pre-diabetes, diabetes, high blood pressure. Okay. I need for you guys to understand tonight. All of those that you said, all of those conditions you guys put in the chat, all of those fall under the leading cause. And we're going to look at the leading cause. And we're going to look at three different sources. The leading cause is what? That's the leading cause, heart disease. Okay, now that's the CDC. I know a lot of people don't care for the CDC, but that's okay. You know your girl has more than one resource. Let's go. Okay, here we go. We're at the WHO. Okay. All right. What's the number one unaliver? The number one leading cause, cardiovascular. Okay. That's the same realm as heart disease. Let's go. And we're going to go to another. We're going to go to a third resource, because I want to show you guys, like, this is serious. Okay. I want you guys to take this really serious. Okay. We're going to go to the creme de la creme of resources. The creme de la creme of resources are the National Library of Medicine. Let's tap the screen, shit alive. The creme de la creme. Okay, the creme de la creme. The creme de la creme is the national. Okay. And why? Because they do extensive research. Okay, let's see. Let's see what they say. Okay, let's go. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. The leading cause. Let's look at it. Leading cause. Leading cause. It's scary to know that heart disease is toe-to-toe with cancer. That's scary. Okay, that's scary. Let's tap the screen, share it live, guys. That's scary. Okay, now here's something else I want to show you guys. Okay, because since we're talking about heart disease, which is important. Okay, since we're talking about heart disease, let's understand what heart disease is. So we're going to make the connection now. Okay, we're going to make the connection now. Okay, all right, we're going to make the connection, and I want you to see something. Pay close attention. We just looked at three different resources. Okay, three different pieces of literature that said that heart disease, cardiovascular disease is number one unalive. Is the number one unaliver. Okay, we just looked at that. All right, the number one unaliver. Okay, now, if we could understand that heart disease is the number one unaliver, we need to understand the risk factors. What are the risk factors affiliated with the number one unaliver? Let's go. What is it? What are the three conditions that you guys see here? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Because we're going to make the connection tonight. We're going to make the connection. Now, there are various reasons why a person is hypertensive. There are various reasons why a person has high cholesterol. There's various reasons why a person is diabetic. Okay, we can look at lifestyle. Okay, we can look at exercise. I like exercise. We can look at the eating factor, hereditary, but really the lifestyle is huge. Now, a part of the lifestyle is stress management. Let me show you something and how this connects to my initial lecture when it comes to trauma, stress, toxic environments, and toxic relationships. Watch this. Okay, you can exercise every day, eat well, get your sleep, go to yoga, meditate. Let me tell you something. If your body is in survival mode, none of that matters. I'm going to ask this question, and if this applies to you, I want you to go ahead and drop those green hearts in the chat. How many of you know someone that you knew for a fact lived a healthy lifestyle and they had a stroke or heart attack? Drop the green hearts in the chat. Let's go. We're going to be honest with ourselves. We're going to be honest with ourselves. We are going to be honest tonight. We are going to be honest tonight. We're going to be honest tonight. We are going to be honest tonight. Okay? I don't have opinions. I don't have opinions. I have facts. I do not have opinions. Okay? All right. That's important for you to understand. That's how powerful. This is how powerful stress is. This is how powerful chronic stress is. This is how powerful toxic environments is. This is how powerful being in toxic relationships is. Okay? This is why I teach to make the connections, because you can be living, okay, a partially healthy lifestyle by eating great, exercising, getting your rest and whatnot, but yet you're living in a toxic environment, but yet you're in a toxic relationship. And because you're in a toxic relationship, guess what? You still can have high blood pressure. You still can get high cholesterol, and you still can develop diabetes type 2. Okay? And you may ask, well, Trish, how can that happen? I'm eating well. I'm exercising. Sweetheart, because as the research says, when you are living in survival mode, remember, this topic of discussion is, okay, understanding stress and trauma, living in toxic relationships, living in toxic environments. When he or she consistently is in and tolerating a toxic environment and a toxic relationship, you're making yourself sick. You're altering the function of your brain. We went through, okay, at the start of my live, we talked about the various parts of your brain, and we paid special attention to the prefrontal cortex, and we paid special attention to the frontal lobe, the limbic lobe, okay, the parietal lobe. We talked about these areas and their actions. We talked about, okay, how these areas become compromised, okay, how these areas become suppressed. Why? Because, my love, the presence of cortisol, the activation of the ANS system, your autonomic system, which then activates the sympathetic nervous system, which then makes contact with the adrenal glands on top of the kidneys. And you may ask, how does that happen under stress, Trish? Because how does it happen under toxic environments? How does it happen under toxic relationships? Because, baby, when the body deems that you are in trouble, and it will, because you're in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, when your when the sensory division, okay, picks up that you are in survival mode, it then activates neurons, hormones, okay, and neurotransmitters to come together to integrate in the hypothalamus and to be released by the pituitary gland to your adrenal glands. And we're talking about cortisol and aldosterone. And what do those three do? I'll tell you. Cortisol needs more sugar. So it tells the liver, make me more sugar. It tells the liver to break down glycogen into glucose. Okay, it needs cholesterol. It needs fatty acids. Aldosterone tells the body, hold on to salt. Cortisol inhibits the manufacture of vitamin D. Your bones then go through brittle and osteoporosis. Your digestive system is suppressed. Your immune system is suppressed because during fight or flight, your body is not concerned about fighting viral infections and bacterial. So while the body is trying to keep you in homeostasis, it's trying, although it's not, it's helping, but it's compromising. And the presence of elevated blood cortisol increases blood pressure, increases blood cholesterol, and increases blood glucose. Have we made the connection? Tap the screen, share the live. Tap the screen, share the live. Have we made the connection? Tap the screen, share the live. Let's go. Because we're going to learn tonight, baby. Let's go. Have we made the connection? Have we made the connection? Have you learned something tonight that you have not learned? Let's drop those yellow and green hearts. Let's go. Am I providing you with value? Am I providing you with information? Tap the screen, share the live. Follow me if you're not following me already. Make sure you're following me. The only way you know I'm live is if you follow me. Okay, thank you so much for the roses. You guys can definitely support by jumping in the gift box, continuing to tap the screen, share the live. Follow me and turn on your notifications to all. Okay, that is the full circle. So the moral of the story is, thank you so much for joining the team, baby. I appreciate you. Yes, join the team, guys. Join, learn, live, and longevity, because that's what we doing over here. Learn, live, and longevity based on literature, based on science, based on research. Okay. All right. So I thank you guys for being here. We're now going to look at some more literature. Now, this time it is going to be specific to much of what I've been lecturing tonight as it pertains to trauma and the brain. Yes. Okay. Let's go. And then at the end of this, which will be in a couple of minutes, I'm going to provide you guys. Oh, I will be asking 3 questions. So if you've been here from the beginning and you've been taking notes, you may have the opportunity to receive the free health and wellness consultation. Okay. And I'm going to provide you guys with a tube video that's going to help you to learn how to rewire your brain, how to start rewiring your brain. Yes, it is extremely possible because our brains do magnificently what's called neuroplasticity, which means it basically adapts to any situation, which is good and bad. Okay. All right. So we're going to look at some more research. We're going to look at some more literature. Okay. All right. Okay. So go ahead and tap the screen, share the live, guys. Tap the screen, share the live. But I really wanted to tap into the heart disease because I saw a lot of you put in high blood pressure, diabetes. So I definitely had to pull some information and let you guys know that, listen, you guys are literally, that's chronic stress, because with those diagnoses, with the presence of high blood pressure, with the presence of high elevated blood glucose, with the presence of elevated cholesterol, there comes the presence of inflammation. And where there's inflammation, there is elevated cortisol. Okay, that's really important for you guys to understand. And by all means, please, please, please do your own due diligence and understand what's happening in your body. Okay. All right, let's go. So now we're going to go ahead and look at some research as it pertains to, okay, trauma and your brain. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Go ahead and tap the screen, share the live, tap the screen, share the live, tap the screen, share the live. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. All right, so what I like, okay. How exactly are Joe's brain and body being hijacked by trauma? Simply put, when a person, I hope you guys can see this. Let me make sure. Okay. When a person experiences something traumatic, adrenaline and other neurochemicals rush to the brain, okay, and print a picture there. The traumatic memory loops in the emotional side of the brain, emotional side, which again, anywhere from the prefrontal cortex to the frontal lobe, to the limbic system, to the hippocampus. Okay, let's see if it mentions it here. Okay. Disconnecting from the part of the brain that conducts reasoning and cognitive processing. Oh my gosh. Who has been here since the beginning? Who has been here? Did you guys catch this? Disconnecting. You know what? This is a question right now. This is a question. This is a question for those who've been here. Hold on. Disconnecting from the part of the brain that conducts reasoning and cognitive processing. What part of the brain is that? That's the first question for the free health and wellness assessment. Let's go. What part of the brain did we discuss? What part of the brain is that? What did we say that is? Let's see who's there. Oh, look at what? Joss. Okay. All right, Joss. Let me see. Proof comment. Joss, this comment was filtered. Joss, they got your comments filtered. Let me put approved comment. Yes. Okay. All right, Joss got it. Joss got it first. There you go. Okay, let me pin it. All right, Joss got it. Frontal lobe. Okay, exactly. That's what I was discussing at the beginning. Remember when I showed you guys the different parts and I was talking about different areas: motivation, personality, expression, critical thinking, executive decision, movement, speech. Yep, all of that. Frontal lobe, prefrontal cortex, actions, thoughts, processing, emotions, coordinating emotions. Yes, exactly. All right. Okay. All right. That's the first question. Let me say Joss. Okay, Joss has 1 point. Joss needs 2 more points to get her free health and wellness consultation. Okay. All right. So I don't know if you guys caught that, but let me go back. How does trauma hijack your brain? Simply put, when a person experiences something traumatic, okay, adrenaline, again, remember I said adrenaline and or cortisol inhibits. It inhibits. What does inhibit mean? It ceases, impairs. Okay. All right. When a person experiences something traumatic, adrenaline and other neurotransmitters, what did I say? Hormones, steroids, okay? Neurotransmitters rush to the adrenal glands of the kidneys, okay? So that adrenaline and or cortisol and or aldosterone can be distributed to the effector organ, okay? All right, here we go. Okay. Traumatic memory loops in the emotional side of the brain disconnect. This is the most powerful part. Okay, is that why grief does the same? Yes, it does. Absolutely. That's why during times of grief, it's important to have support to help you balance. Okay, so yes, grief, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, because again, the body doesn't know the difference between are you grieving? Are you being physically abused? Are you being verbal abused? Okay. Are you running from a snake? You see what I'm saying? It's the body deems that environment as a threat. Okay. The body deems that environment as a threat. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. All right. So the most powerful part of this paragraph, guys, disconnecting from the part of the brain that conducts reasoning and cognitive processing. Wow. That is why we spent a lot of time tonight on the frontal lobe and the prefrontal cortex and some of the parietal lobe and the limbic lobe. Okay, because those areas are associated with the emotions and memories, and also the hippocampus and the amygdala. Okay, because those areas are affiliated with the emotions and experiences and the memories that are created. All right. So it's important to understand that regardless of what we're going through, the brain only sees one thing. It sees red, it sees threat, and it's going to set in motion to do what it needs to do to protect you. However, if that protection is chronic, it's not only protecting, it's compromise. Drop yellow hearts and green hearts in the chat if you understand that. Drop yellow hearts and green hearts in the chat if you understand that. Go ahead and follow me, guys. Turn on your notifications to all. My name is Professor Trish Miami, Yardie T. I have been teaching health science for 22 years, and it is my passion. I love this. If you can appreciate this content, if you find value in this content, feel free to support my content however you can. You can come into the gift box. You can continue to tap the screen, share it alive. You can follow me up here and turn on your notifications. And I'm also on IG and Facebook with the same name, Professor Trish. So make sure you hit me up there too. Okay. All right. Remember we said when we were talking about relationships, okay, in a sense of verbal abuse, toxic relationships. Again, when it gets to the point when you're continuing to stay in that relationship, okay, and you're having a difficult time leaving, and but while you're staying, you're also tolerating and you're conditioning your brain, but you're still stressed. You're in survival mode, okay, and when that happens, you are compromising, okay, all right, the areas of the brain that are responsible for reasoning and cognitive processing. Meaning, even when you say I'm leaving, you don't leave. You can't leave because you can't even logically or rationalize what you're saying. You're saying it, but you don't even know. You don't know the gravity or the meaning of what you're saying. And you won't know that until 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years later. The average person, when they say they're going to leave, it takes them several years to leave. And in that several years, you may have left temporarily, but you've come back at least 5 times. Tap the screen and share it live and drop those yellow and green hearts in the chat if that applies to you. You said you were going to leave, and you did leave temporarily. But again, that phone call came and it appeased to your emotional state. It appeased to your dopamine, your oxytocin, and you're hoping and your memory and the pictures and the replay in your brain, and you went back at least several times. So the average person, before you actually ultimately leave and you're done, you're going back several times within that time frame. Okay. All right. That was good. Okay. So here we go. Okay. Understanding the brain and the body in trauma. Okay. Several parts of the brain are important in understanding how the brain and the body functions during trauma. They include your forebrain, which is your cerebrum. We talked about the cerebrum, and that the cerebrum is broken up into 4 parts. Okay. You have your frontal lobe, temporal lobe, your parietal lobe, and your occipital lobe. Okay. In the deeper cortex, you have the limbic system. Okay. And you also have the cellular lobe. Okay, insular lobe. All right. So it says here they include the forebrain, prefrontal cortex, and the limbic system, which I discussed tonight. Okay, when a person experiences a traumatic event, okay, adrenaline rushes to the body, and the memory is imprinted into the amygdala. Okay, your amygdala is your fear factory area that houses aggression, fear, memory, and trauma, okay, which is a part of the limbic system. Okay, the amygdala holds the emotional significance of the event, including the intensity and the impulse of the emotion. Okay, so that's, again, really important to know. Consequently, after trauma, the brain can easily be triggered by sensory input. After trauma, the brain can easily be triggered by sensory input. What does that mean? This is what I want you guys to understand. Answer this question for me. Man or woman that was in a toxic relationship, toxic environment, or unhealthy relationship, unhealthy environment. I want you, during this time, if your smell was heightened or suppressed, your hearing, your sight, and your perception to touch. Okay? Your perception to touch. Meaning if someone rubbed your shoulder or pat your back, you were really startled. Okay? All right? So yeah, I'm telling you, it happens. Yes, absolutely. I lost my smell. There you go. Your olfactory. You lost your olfactory sensor. Exactly. Yeah, I'm telling you. Okay. The brain becomes somewhat disorganized and overwhelmed because of the trauma, while the body, listen. What word this is number 2 right now. This is number 2 question. What word here somewhere have I been echoing all night? Drop it in the chat. Let's see who's going to get the second answer correctly. I love when I see what I teach into the literature. What word have I been there she is, or he is. Okay, there we go. We got a match. 1 point. Exactly. All night I've been saying you're living in survival mode. Yes, the body goes into survival mode and shuts down. The higher reasoning and language structures of the brain. Higher reasoning. When you are in survival mode, your logic, reasoning, executive function, critical thinking, personality, motivation is a wrap. That is why when you will see a person, watch this. Here's the realization. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be honest with ourselves. When you were or are in a toxic relationship or environment, whether it's been you or someone else, when you saw a friend or a friend saw you, when you saw a friend or a friend saw you, and you were in that toxic relationship and or environment, what's the first thing they said to you? Let me see. What is the first thing commonly people say to you? Let's see who's going to get this one. Let's see who's going to get this point. When you have been in a toxic relationship and or environment, when you have been in a toxic relationship and or environment, what is the first thing someone has said to you, or what is the first thing someone says to you, or you said to them? Let's see. Okay, we got it. That's it. Period. You all right? You okay? You good? Okay? That's the first thing they say. The first thing you say is, you don't say leave him or leave her. You don't say that. You don't say that. You may be thinking it. You may be thinking it, but you don't say it out loud. So that's not the first thing you say. The first thing you say is, you good? You okay? You all right? Yeah. Yep. When someone asks you that question, please understand, from that point on, everyone knows you're in a toxic situation. They're just not letting you know they know. They can see, period, absolutely. Because you change. Because you're altered. You're altered because this is altered. You used to be joyful. Your personality used to be outgoing. You used to motivate other people. You used to have so much to contribute in a conversation. Now you don't have much to contribute. Now your personality is not bubbly and inviting. As a matter of fact, it's closed down. Now you don't have much to contribute to the conversation at all. Now your personality is night and day. Yes, when your brain is altered, you are altered and people see. And the first thing they say, you all right? You okay? You good? Okay? All right, so that's important to understand. You hit it well. Yeah, a lot of people do. But I tell you what, for those of us that hide things well, we're even more dangerous to ourselves. We're even more dangerous to ourselves. Okay? All right, we're gonna look at one more piece of literature, okay? Oh, absolutely. Garcia, absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. That's a powerful statement. A lot of people can relate to that. A lot of people can relate to that. Yep. Wow. Yep. Yep. You're not going nowhere. So I think when people say, oh no, that person needs to be unalive. No. That's not suffering. You need to be here to suffer. I need you here. So I don't like to watch certain things because it sets me into a frame of mind of, okay, what would I do if I was in a authoritative position? And trust me, it's not good. So I avoid watching those things, or if it's, but I'm proactive also, right? So what does that mean? I volunteer a lot. I mentor a lot of kids. I volunteer for the elderly. I care for my mom, who's an elder. So I'm providing of my services to, put a beacon of hope into this world and be an example of that, right? Wanting to do better, right? And if you're in that state and all you need is for someone to come and say, listen, this is what's going on. This is what happens under these circumstances. This is what happens under these circumstances. It happens to like this much people. You're like, wow, I don't feel alone. I'm not crazy. I'm not this. I'm not that. Okay, what do I need to do? This is the information. This is where you can go and learn. And this is how you can apply, right? So for me, it's about contributing, so to speak, right? So contributing to society, being proactive in society. And again, there's so much going on in the world. Some good, some very not good. Okay, and how do I balance that? I contribute my goodness, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense or if that helps, but I contribute my goodness. And a part of my goodness is, again, even here on TikTok, you know what I do here, contributing my goodness, contributing my experience, my teaching experience, my clinical experience, my passion for what I do. And I contribute that. And I hope and pray, you know, every night I get on, that God uses me and some person or persons are influenced, and they're listening, and they're like, wow, okay, this is why I did that. This is why I did that. And they could travel back and reflect, and they could release themselves. You know, who's to know what state of mind that person was in prior to getting on and seeing this live? Who's to know if that person never got on this live, you know, what would transpire? You see what I'm saying? So it's about contributing, and being proactive, you know, little person by person, little by little, and pray for the best. Right? So that's what I do. And I just hope, because it's so much going on in the world that I don't pour into the negativity, because we have to be careful with what we take in. Remember, our sensory division is extremely sensitive, and what we see, you cannot unsee, right? What you see, you cannot unsee, and it's stored. And if what you saw is in any way, shape, or form affiliated with what you've been through, and that was traumatizing, now you've just basically conjured up that situation, right? And you find yourself back to square one. So I just stay away from crazy videos, crazy content, and I spend my time contributing. I do. I love it. I love it. I love it. I spend my time contributing. I spend my time teaching. I spend my time volunteering. I spend my time, you know, advocating for our elderly. You know, I spend my time pouring into people and pouring into myself too. All right. So I hope that helps. Right. Okay. So I have two more questions. I believe it was, let me see. What was her name? I know, Joss, you answered a question. I think if I see their names again, but I'm going to ask two more questions. And I believe, Joss, you have 1 point, and there's two other people that have a point. I don't know if they're still here, but I'm going to ask the two questions. And if you know the answers, you have to get 3 points. The first person to get 3 points. You know what? I'll ask 3 questions. And the first person to get all 3 correctly, you will be the winner of the free health and wellness consultation. Okay? With me on Zoom. Okay? Okay, so here we go. First question. Oh, let me put on my song. You know, I love my song. I love my hold on. Let me get my game show music, okay? Let's see. Okay. Okay, first I have to ask the question, and then I'm going to put on... Just say my nerves. Okay. First I have to ask the question. I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to put on my music for about... You're going to have, let's see... you need time to type, so... Okay, 15... I think 15 seconds is good. Okay. All right, let's see what we talked... Okay, we talked about the brain parts. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, here we go. Name... Are you ready? I'm going to ask 3 questions, and if you are interested in answering these 3 questions, I know Josh has 1 point, and 2 other people has points too, but I guess if I see your name again, I'll remember. Okay. And on the first person to get 3 points, you win. I'm only going to ask 3 questions, so if nobody gets the 3 points, then we'll try again tomorrow. Okay? All right, so let's see. What is the name of the lobe and or system that we said is in charge of regulating your emotions? Go. Five, four, three, two, one. Nobody got it. Oh, okay. We're gonna come back to that one. No one got it. Okay, but y'all have some good answers though. I see you. I see you. Regulating. Remember, keyword, name of the lobe and or system. Okay, here we go. Number 2. Let me see. Okay, here we go. What were the 3 conditions and disease that we said that we saw in the literature that falls under heart disease? Go. Oh, good job. All right. I'm so old school. Okay, yay. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. That's right. You know what? I think Miss Chels, did you answer a question prior? That's her second, right? Yeah. Okay, I thought so. Okay, Miss Chels, you got your 2 points. Okay. Oh, that's her second. Okay. Yes, I did. Okay, good. Okay. All right. Okay, guys, we're at the end. Basically, we're at the end of the lecture, and I'm asking some questions. I'm giving away a free health and wellness consultation. During that consultation, we go over, we address whatever you want to talk about. Okay, and we address whatever your concerns are, and we come up with a blueprint. Okay, we come up with a blueprint so we can get you right mentally, physically, and spiritually on a path. Okay, all right. Now that session is normally $99.99, but it is on sale 50% off, $49.99 in the Stand store. So even if you don't win tonight, if you're really serious about really getting back on track and you would like a consultation with me, you too can go ahead and book your consultation in the Stand store. It is 50% off at $49.99. Okay, all right, here we go. Let me see. Let's see. Let me ask one more question. Let's see. All right, let's see. So it's the third question. This has to have a little sauce on it, right? Ooh, okay. What are the 2 steroid hormones that are released from the adrenal glands during chronic stress? Go. Wait. Miss, you only put 1. Okay. Who put both? Oh, Molly. Okay, Molly. Molly came out the back. Molly said, don't count me out. Molly said, do not count me out, baby. Okay. I see y'all. Hold on. Let me go back here. Miss Chels, you only put 1. You pressed you had the first one, Miss Chels, but you were missing another one, baby. Okay, so hold on. So Molly has 1, Joss has 1, Miss Chels has 2. Okay. It's getting tense up in her. It's getting tense. Okay. You know what? Let me see. Let me see for fun if I could change my back screen to something anatomy. Let me see. How do I do that? Is it AI wallpaper? You guys know how to change your background? You guys know how to do that? Is it? Let me see. Let me see if it's AI. Let me see if is it AI wallpaper? Let me see. Let me experiment. Hopefully it doesn't give me a big head like it did last time. Hold on. Let me see something. AI green screen. Oh, okay. Green screen. Cake me up, Wagwan, girl. Okay. The background. Do I choose background? Let me see. What in the world? What in the disco? Child, this took me back to 1983. Where my solid gold music at, honey? What? Wait, no, I want to upload it now. What in the solid gold is going on? Okay, I think I. Hold on. Okay, wait a minute. Let me. Okay, background. What? What in the Sharp Shannon? What in the Sharp Shannon is going on? I feel like I'm on the couch. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me see. Thank you guys for going through this with me. Okay, here. Oh, okay. Okay, hold on. Hold on, guys. Give me one. Okay, background. Oh, I have to come up. Okay, so let me go back here. Let me go back here. Okay, there it is. Okay. Aw. That didn't come out too good. Not too good. Aw. That didn't come out too good.
And there
Go back to the beach. Okay. Go back to here. Why is it so big though? Why is the picture so... Is there a way for me to get the picture smaller? Okay, so that didn't work out. All right, let me try one more time, guys. Hold on. Practice. Okay, so I'm looking forward to it. I love it. I really love it. Okay, so guys, thank you so much. Hey, Garcia, Good to see you, baby. Standing on business. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see a lot of my individuals that have been here, consistently. Thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you for, just allowing me to do what I love and being receptive and just being here. I come here every night, and like I said, so much is going on in the world. We can be easily distracted with what's going on in the world, or we can be that beacon of hope and just, just do something positive, right? Do something positive, pour into people, but also pouring into ourselves. Okay. And look to inspire and motivate, just my ultimate favorite example of that is one candle. One candle can light 1,000 candles. One at a time. One candle can light 1,000 candles. And I'm on a healing path. That's right. And you know what, Garcia? That's exactly what it is. It is a healing. It is healing. Absolutely. That's what it is. Yes, now I get to pour into people and have a place of peace and knowledge. Absolutely. That's what it is. It's all about finding that balance. And sometimes when you've been in a toxic environment or in a toxic relationship, you lose that ability, as we saw as I teach in the lectures, and as we see in the literature. You definitely you lose that ability. That ability is suppressed. That ability is non-existent sometimes. And the longer you stay in that situation, you're like a zombie. It's really scary. You have a lot of people that have been in relationships or environments, and they're just operating. They're just here, right? They're just existing. They're not living. They're just existing, which is scary. So I just hope to get people out of the existing realm and encourage people to get in the living realm. So if I could, absolutely, yes, you wanna look and feel good, absolutely. But at the end of the day, sweetheart, I know a lot of physically beautiful women and a lot of physically handsome men that are just stressed and unhappy. So at the end of the day, again, that holds no weight. If this is not right, nothing holds weight. Everything is a facade. It's a temporary dream. It's a cycle. So not even the baddest body or the biggest airplane and jet and yacht and it, no. If this is not, I can't. If this if this is not right, and we don't get this right, everything is a facade. Everything is a facade. Yes, I've slowed down completely to enjoy the small things. Absolutely. Me, something that I enjoy and I love to do. I love to listen to the birds. I love nature. I love to be by the water. I love to volunteer my time, especially with elders. I take care of my grandmother. She has dementia. She lives with me, and I take care of her. So I absolutely need my time as a caregiver. So we just have to find what works for us, and what works must also be nourishing, right? What works must also be nourishing, right? I'm a vet tech and I studied a little psychology. Okay, awesome. So this is not far off from you then, This is not far off from you. But definitely make it your business to get to know more about you, more about your health, and choose you. Choose you, because I don't know anyone on earth that's worth my mind, my heart, my kidneys, my lungs. No. I'm sorry. If you felt like you wasted time, baby, listen, just don't waste anymore. Okay. Okay. If you felt like you fully invested into someone, now you invest in yourself. Okay. Okay. If they told you, if they manipulated you or brainwashed you and told you you coulda, woulda, never without them, well, you do it without them. It's simple. So, in that context, right? Right? Definitely gonna wake up different. Yes, yes, Josh. Yes, absolutely. Wake up different, baby. Yes, yes. I love it. Yes. Is it okay if takes your spot? Oh, you want to give Josh your spot? Sure. You want to give Josh your spot? No problem. You are definitely allowed. You are definitely allowed to pass it on to one person. If that person doesn't want it, then nobody gets it. But absolutely, absolutely, you are definitely allowed to pass on your winnings of a free assessment to someone else. Yes, you are. That is totally fine with me. You can do that. You can pass that baton at least once. I want it for sure. Thank you so much. Excellent. Okay, Josh, we'll get into the inbox. It was amazing. I really enjoyed it. You're welcome, sweetheart. Thank you so much for participating. Josh, get into my inbox, first, last name, email, and phone number, honey. And my VA, my virtual assistants, one of them will contact you and provide you with the information you need and set up the appointment. Okay? Oh, I love it. Yay. I love it. I love it. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed the lecture. I hope you enjoyed the session. I hope you, see yourself in a better light, a more empowering light, because the more we know, the more we can make better decisions and better changes, right? So thank you guys so much. It's always, I love it. I love it. If I didn't have responsibilities tomorrow, I will probably ride out the entire night, but I do. Actually, I wouldn't, because I need my sleep. My brain needs to recover. That's part of my, the immune system is getting rest as well. Okay. So yes, Josh, get in that inbox, baby. Get in that inbox. Okay. Get in that inbox. So thank you guys so much for being here. You're welcome. I've been in a toxic relationship. I've been on a long... Okay. And it is a journey. It is a journey, my love. It is a journey. So I do hope that the information provided here, the information that I provided with the literature. Oh, let me give you guys... are you guys interested in the YTube video about rewiring? Are you guys interested in that? Because I could give you guys the if you're interested in that, go ahead and drop yellow green hearts. Okay, let me see here. Let me see where I kept it. Yeah, okay, awesome. Okay, awesome, guys. Hold on, let me give it to you here. Just looking for the rewire. Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah, this is, I believe, I'm not sure. Based on his name, he sounds Russian. I'm not sure. But in any event, great guy, great lectures, great interviews. All he talks about is the brain and rewiring. Great stuff. So I cannot play the video because TT has an issue with me playing videos, but I will screenshot.
I want to explain something to you as if
I'm going to screenshot
we're smart.
the video and the title so you guys can either screenshot it too and look him up. He does not have a channel, but everything he talks about is incredible. Okay. So you YTube his name, and everything that comes up is going to be about the brain. Okay. So here it is. Oh, who said they missed it? You sure? Y'all, you missed it. Come back tomorrow. Okay. Oh, I have to take down my uh-oh. I gotta take down my brain picture. Okay, hold on. I have to take down the screen, guys. Okay, let me take down the screen. Now that I know how to put it up. Okay. Okay, here. All right, guys, go ahead. Go ahead and screenshot that. His name is Bezil van der Kolk. Great stuff. Great stuff. Dr. Bezil van der Kolk. He's a neuroscientist. Great stuff. Okay. Got it? Yep. All right. Okay, awesome. All right. Okay, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you for joining the lecture. Thank you for participating in the questions in the game. And just thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. Honestly, thank you for your time. You didn't have to be here talking about anatomy and, the affiliation with everything else. But I hope I made it fun for you. I hope you were able to absorb the information. I hope you were able to attain, not just remember, but actually attain and make it applicable to your life. Therefore, having that example and just making it so you could wake up tomorrow and you could see yourself differently just because you have more information. You see what I'm saying? Just because you have more information, and having more information precedes not having any information. But I have to tell you, now that you have more information, in the words of Dr. Maya Angelou, when you know better, right? Now you have a responsibility, because now that you have there you go, exactly. Now that you have the information, you have a responsibility. That comes with education. That comes with learning. Once you learn, you have a responsibility, right? You have a responsibility. And quite honestly, now the responsibility is for you. It's for you. It's for your health. It's for your sanity. It's for your heart. It's for your lungs, your bones, your cells, your brain, every part of your body. Literally, every inch of your body. Every inch of your body is affected by your environment and the type of relationships that you have. It's either pouring into you or it's taking from you, right? So now that you have the information, you also have a responsibility to do better. Now that you know more, because when you know more, you do better, right? So thank you guys so much for being here. Love each and every one of you. Let me go ahead and shout everybody out. Sarah, shout out. Miss Big Boss, shout out. Princess, Tracer, Shanice, Michelle, Nene, Prince, Feeny, Barbara, Religion, Kelia. If I mispronounce your name, my apologies. Miss D, The Fresh, Zay, Peace, Dimple, Nusky, Marini, User 2319, Patrick, Shaniklia, Renee, Nisi, Carl, Heathers, Tarsia, Drake, Happy Life, Arlene, Garcia, She Light, how are you, baby? Celine, 50, Unique, not sure what that is. It looks like it's in Arabic, but symbols. I'm just gonna say symbols. Virant, Joss, the AC Beauty, Rhonda, Chels, Amber, AGB, Grace, Brisky, Lisa, Be Lovely, Ben, Miss T Baby, Big, Molly, Shredded Lettuce, Kisses 305, Majestic, Styles, Held, and Lush, Burks too. Okay, so that's everybody left here. Just wanted to give everybody a shout out. You're still here. I appreciate you. Thank you. And I appreciate your time. Okay. As always, I say the same things before I leave my live. Please, let's take care of our children. Let's take care of our children. And let's look out for our elderly. If you are taking care of an elder with some form of cognitive condition and or disease, and particularly dementia, please show compassion. Please be patient. Please care for them with respect. They know not what they do. They know not what they say. I know you may think they know what they say and they know what they do, but they don't. And maybe some of what they say and what they do are reminiscent to when you knew them. And if you did not have a healthy relationship with that parent, just let it go. Just pray about it. Just let it go. Nothing can be done or said about it. And they shouldn't be mistreated because of it. Just treat them, show them, be the example of how they should have loved you. But don't punish them for not being there or possibly even hurting you in some kind of way. And I know it's like, well, that's not fair. Life in itself is not fair, But there's nothing to be gotten out of mistreating an elder parent that's sick and vulnerable and they don't know themselves. Forgive yourself, forgive them, and let it go. Right? So let's take care of our children. Let's take care of our elders. Let's look out for our veterans. And let's contribute and be a beacon, however we can be that beacon and contribute something positive each and every day. Okay? Guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time. I'll be back tomorrow, 9:30. Okay, look out for me. Make sure you're following me and turn on your notifications to all so you'll know when I come. All right, and you'll get your notification. And if you don't get your notification, just check anyway around 9:30. Just check, and you should see the circle around my name. Okay. Do visit the TikTok page here. Watch a couple of videos. For more than 10 seconds or more. Don't like any more than 3 though, because that's spamming and that actually hurts your profile. So you support me, I support you, and I appreciate everybody that's here. So have a wonderful night, guys. Take time for you. Inhale, exhale, release, let go. A new day, new you. And I hope that this lecture, this live was beneficial to you. Okay? God bless. And thank you again for being here. I appreciate your time and your presence. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful night.